Hi there, I'm Laurie Steiner. I'm a partner at the law firm Solomon, Steiner and Peck. I'm here with Todd Bartimole, and we're going to give you some quick tips from SSP on Medicaid. What are the rules and how they might affect you if you end up in a nursing home?
Hi, my name is Todd Bartimole. I'm an elder law attorney with Solomon, Steiner and Peck, and I'm here to talk to you about the basics of Medicaid eligibility in the long-term care setting. In order to qualify for Medicaid, you have to meet two tests. One's an income test and one's an asset test. With regard to income, there is a line. It's $2,349. If you have $2,349 or less, you are eligible for Medicaid with regard to the income test. With people who have $2,350 or more in income, they will have to establish what's called a qualified income trust, and that trust can receive some of the income so Medicaid doesn't count it. So for instance, if I had $3,000 a month in income and I put $1,000 into the qualified income trust, Medicaid would look at my income as being $2,000 instead of $3,000 because $1,000 went into the trust. So one would need to set up a trust if they have $2,350 or more. We see a lot of people making the mistake of not setting up these trusts and being denied for Medicaid. So it's important that they be set up. With regard to assets, generally a person has to have $2,000 or less in assets. What are assets? Assets are anything that you can generally reduce to cash that's not exempt. So there are some exemptions for Medicaid. If you're a single person, your house is exempt if you intend to go home. Your one car is exempt. And there are some other exemptions such as burial plots and funeral plans that when you talk to an elder law attorney, you can find out about. With regard to married couples, the Medicaid law basically allows the spouse in the community to keep half of the assets up to $128,640. So for instance, if I went into a nursing home and my wife was living at home and we had $200,000, she would be able to keep the first $100,000 and I would have to spend down the remainder to $2,000. Once I reached $2,000 or less, I would be eligible for Medicaid. She would be allowed to keep the $100,000 that was allocated to her. Now, if I had $500,000, then she would be able to keep the maximum, which is $128,640. And that's the max that she can keep. I would then have to spend down the remaining money on my care or otherwise deal with those assets. Again, down to $2,000 for me. So if you meet, and when you meet, the asset test and the income test, Medicaid will generally be approved.
Hi, I'm back. Now that you've heard Todd talk a little bit about the asset rules and how low your assets have to be in order to qualify for Medicaid, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the planning that can be done. First of all, you got to get rid of assets. So a lot of times what people do is actually spend all of the money on the nursing home until such time as they've used it all up, and then they qualify for Medicaid. That's not necessarily a good thing. I'd like to see you have a little bit of money left over even after you've qualified for Medicaid, because if you're down to, for a single person, $2,000 and that's it, you don't have a whole lot of cushion if you need haircuts, new clothes, toiletries, nice things that most people want to have on a daily basis as they go about their lives. So we oftentimes do some planning with regard to gifting. Now, the problem with gifting is Medicaid doesn't like it, as you might expect. They don't like you to be able to give away your money and then qualify for Medicaid. So there's very specific Medicaid rules that talk about penalty periods. So if you give away money within 5 years of a Medicaid application, then they will see that gift, they will calculate a number of months that you're ineligible, and you can't get Medicaid even when you're down to where you need to be in assets and you've applied for benefits. They penalize you. Doesn't mean we can't make gifts. It just means you have to either make the gifts so that they fall outside of the 5-year look-back period that Medicaid is imposing, or there's even last-minute types of gifts we call crisis plans, where you can give away some of the money knowing that there's going to be a penalty period. However, then you plan with the rest of the money to be used in order to pay during the penalty period. If it sounds complicated, it's because it really kind of is complicated. So this is not something you want to do on your own. Gift planning is something you need to see an elder law attorney about, but it can be done, even at the last minute, so all is not lost. Now I'm going to take a minute to talk about the income rules for Medicaid. We heard something about the asset rules, but the income rules are nasty too. They have this thing called an income cap. And if your gross income that you get every month from Social Security, from pension, from STRS, whatever it is, if your gross income exceeds the income cap, which is $2,349, then you're not qualified for Medicaid. You have to jump through more hoops. You have to set up a qualifying income trust called a QIT for short. And this trust is a separate bank account than your regular checking. Your money comes into your regular checking. You have to put the excess above the income cap in the QIT. Then every month you owe a certain portion of your income to the nursing home. So then you have to pay part of it from the QIT and part of it from your regular checking account. And you got to do this right every month. If you screw up at all and you have too much money at any given time in any account, they'll deny you for Medicaid even years later. So watch out for that QIT.
Sometimes Medicaid applications will remain pending for a long time, months and months going by while a nursing home bill gets bigger and bigger, and then will get denied ultimately because the caseworker says that they never received some document that you sent them months before. We act to make sure that the deadlines are met and that all documents are in, and that we have verification that the documents are in to make sure that the case goes smoothly.
I'm here to talk about another Medicaid problem. We've got so many clients who think, why should I have an attorney do this Medicaid application for me? I mean, it's a government program. It should be simple. And the nursing home said they do it for me for free, so why don't I have them do it? Well, it's not always the best idea. So my client did that. The family decided that mom's Medicaid application would be filed by the nursing home staff, who only really know about a Medicaid application that's done once they get as much money from you as they can. You've paid privately till your money's all gone, then they can file an application, and that is pretty simple. But if you're trying to protect any assets, if you have anything complex, if you have a QIT, any of those things make this application a little bit one step above the normal. So it's not the best thing to have the nursing home staff make that application for you. In this case, the mom's Medicaid application was denied. The staff didn't know what to do at the nursing home. They just said, well, it's denied, we can't help you. So you really are better off seeing an elder law attorney from the get-go to really make sure that application goes through the right way.
Applying for Medicaid is not a do-it-yourself project. You need a good, experienced elder law attorney who understands how the process works and how to get you the benefits to which you're entitled.
Hi, it's Laurie again, thanking you so much for listening to our quick tips on Medicaid. Watch for more quick tips from SSNP and tune in.